the answer to a question we posed on Monday. In one word, describe what you want more of in life. Yesterday, we found on the top of the list was happiness. We were, as we were researching and studying for this, we found an article by Forbes magazine, and number 2 on that list was money. Finances, to have financial freedom. So in the list of Forbes, and you would think rightly so, that tends to be a more, a business-oriented magazine or periodical, that they would want money because they want to have financial freedom and the success that goes with it. It probably, for some people, having more money is not even a function of being able to purchase more, but just to say, look at me, the pride that I have for being so successful and all the things that go with it. Obviously, having more money would be great because then we won't struggle as much, right? Like bills don't become dreadful or quite as dreadful. Taxes don't become quite as dreadful. Mortgages don't become quite as dreadful. So certainly there is a necessity, a need, a desire for money. But if you want to make your life better, like if we're looking like really to make ourselves better, how do I want to say it? Let's say we want to leave chaos behind and find our way towards peace, towards becoming exceptional human beings, growing into a warrior saint. Then if money for the sake of money itself and the power and the prestige become the focus, I'm just here to tell you, you're going to get lost. Now, I know that everyone says, oh, that's, of course, Father, we should never be, after money because it's sinful and all the kind of stuff that we, the things that we say. Look, I'm not like that. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm real. I recognize, bro, you need money. You got to put bread on the table. Got to buy your wife some jewels. Got to put the kids through school. Got to have a car to get around it. Like, it's real. You're never going to hear me say, like, that money is evil, right? It's not. It's a tool if you use it like that. When you chase it, however, and you love it so much that it becomes a master, you've missed the point. And to find that happiness that we talked about yesterday and the peace that we're going to talk about on Friday, we've really got to remember that money is simply a tool. To help us understand that, wrap our heads around it, listen to Proverbs chapter 3. We read it yesterday. I want to read it again. Listen. Happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gets understanding, for the gain from it is better than the gain from silver, and its profit better than gold. And he goes on to talk about how, wisdom is even greater than jewels and riches and fame, and, long life is in the hand. And you saw the text and all this beautiful stuff. Ultimately, what he's telling us, the proverb is, like, nobody in their right mind disputes the fact that you need money, right? Nobody in their right mind disputes the fact that you should work hard to go get money, and that the desire to have money is not inherently sinful until it, crosses that line. But that real wealth is wisdom, right? We talked about it yesterday in regards to happiness, and today that wisdom is defined in the book of Proverbs as adhering to the commandments and instructions of God. But what that does for us, that true godly wisdom, it really helps us avoid folly, foolishness. Let me talk to you all right, let me exegete a little. The word in Greek for wisdom is Sophia, right? Like Sophia, right? The opposite of wisdom is in Greek moria, which is where you get moron, right? So that's the opposite. And moria translates as foolishness or folly, right? So interesting note, what's the second year college student? A sophomore, a wise fool, one who thinks he knows, but he doesn't know. Interesting. Anyways, wisdom and its opposite, folly, that's the consummate battle that we need to be chasing, right? And like here it is like this. So think about it for the context with which they were, writing in Proverbs. They were nomadic, wandering, in desert cities in what we now call the Middle East. And water sometimes would be very hard to come across, right? Like that's why they built cities around rivers or around seas. So they had water. So if they're out in the middle of the desert and they come across an oasis, right? It's tantamount or paramount for their survival. They cannot taint that oasis, right? Wisdom says to them that they can't throw garbage or human waste or any kind of waste into that water supply, because if they leave that oasis, there may be no more water out there. And to leave it may cause or lead to death. So that water supply is unto life. Don't taint it, right? Like that's wisdom. It's just it's a silly example, but hopefully it makes it clear. Wisdom is about leading us towards the preservation of life, about not just surviving, but thriving, becoming the best that we can be. And so go get your money, right? Don't ever come to me and expect, to hear me say anything like that, oh, it's okay, we don't need any money. Go get it. You need it, get your jobs. If you don't have one, if you're in a job, grow in it, get it. But seek first that wisdom, because it's more precious. It helps us survive the foolishness, the folly of the world, which we see in the chaos that we talked about last week. Wisdom will guide us on the path towards the Lord, towards becoming awesome, right? And really, we can say what we want to say. We want, as we talked about yesterday, happiness. We want today, as we talk about money, as I said, tomorrow or Friday, we're going to talk about peace. Tomorrow, we'll talk about being free and that kind of stuff. Like, those are things that we want, but really, 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 if we're honest, we want to be awesome people. I mean, we want to be exceptional human beings. To get it, you got to be wise. Wisdom comes from the instruction of the Lord. Love you, beautiful people. It's fun stuff. Anyways, all of that being said, to help us do that, I want you to go to warriorsaints.org. It's the website right there. Buy the book. It's there. See it on the page. Got its own page. Love you. We're going to be back tomorrow to talk about freedom. Keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.